You are listening to These Walls Can Talk, a Hope Outdoor Gallery podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of These Walls Can Talk here in Austin, Texas. I'm here with my co-host, Andy Skull, and my sister, Andy Skull, and my producing partner, Andy Skull, and I'm Chris Skull. And we are, more importantly, with two badass artists from our funky town of Austin, Texas, Kimie Flores and Thurman Jackson.
These Walls Can Talk is a special show just about the untold, crazy, insane, funny, behind-the-scenes DIY stories of what makes living in Austin as a artist, musician, creative, super special. And it's also a great spot where we're bringing up some of the history from the original location of the Hope Outdoor Gallery when it was on Baylor Street in downtown Austin. Just so These Walls Can Talk. It's meant to be some ungoogleable stuff.
Ungoogleable.
Let's get it.
So I would love to start with Kimie since we definitely met through the Hope Outdoor Gallery, and I know that she's got some wonderful, crazy experiences from back in the day.
From the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually was introduced into the park because Miles Starkey, who's like a really great friend of ours, and we would essentially like show up there at 8, 9 in the morning, and nobody would be there. It'd just be the painters. We'd just pick a wall. The love wall was the prime wall, so if you got there early, that was your spot.
Yeah, that was also when like the snow cone truck they would like fight. They would like park and wait to see who could get like the spot.
No, they would because location was crucial. Just because like once people started showing up, it was hard to maneuver. So if you showed up early, that's your territory right there. But yeah, I met a lot of my friends just in the process of like showing up. We'd get started, we paint all day, and then it was this whole process of like going through this laborious painting, and then it's like sing it, and then other people are freaking out that you're doing this, and it was so cool, like such a great place to just practice and start, because I didn't expect my job to be painting walls. Like it became my job just
That's
as
cool.
I started going there. It was never like a plan, it just fell into my lap.
That's awesome.
Dude, yeah. Well, and so I just realized too, each show we have two guests, and in this combo, what's really unique to me is when Chris and I and the whole team with Hope was starting Hope Outdoor Gallery, the South by idea that him and Zuzu kind of came up with and pitched me on was called Recreate, and that was when we would whitewash all the walls, and I would help like kind of program and pick different artists, and Chris would do a whole DJ lineup. And so Recreate was always to us from the beginning until now, a way to kind of bring together the audio and the visual friends that we had. So Kimie, I know you got some crazy stories from Recreate.
Stories. I have a bunch. There was one Recreate where Miles gave me the prime spot, the love wall, and he was like, paint whatever.
I remember that.
I painted a zombie, and he was like, I did not expect you to do that. It was a zombie eating a heart, and it was so gnarly. And I remember at the beginning of the day, he was in a really good mood, and then at the end of the day, he was very upset because he was like, it's gruesome, there's blood, there's kids here. And I was like, I wanted to paint a zombie. At the time, I was really into The Walking Dead, so of course I was gonna just like do something.
Zombies love too,
They do, and it was eating a heart right on the part that said love, and it was my contribution.
It's hard to imagine, but you can if you try.
Oh my god.
Stop.
All right.
But no,
And
and
make him stop.
some friends of ours made an art installation in the pit, so they set up these mushrooms that they glued to the walls, and later that night, some friends of mine, Emily Ding and Malcolm Byers and Jay, which are all great artists, we kind of just like went into the park, went down into the pit, broke them off the walls because they were phallic like, and we were just smacking each other with them. Like, we were just going in the pit. It was like late at night.
Was it a dick move?
It kind of was. We didn't have the heart to tell our friends who made it that we went and destroyed it after, but I guess they'll find out now.
Yeah,
Wait.
they know now.
They know now.
The streets is talking.
What? Dang it! Why am I not remembering who did that install?
It was because we broke it soon after. We like went back at night and we hopped in there and we just took everything off the walls and we were just like attacking each other.
Yeah, but I remember walking around, checking out everyone's finished stuff, and having that installation be, pointed out, and so it reminded me about all of the insane stories that we had from Hope Outdoor Gallery just being a really great place, apparently, to smoke weed.
Oh, most definitely. You climb up to the top in the view of the skyline, just sit up there, smoke weed with your friends. It's perfect.
I'm sure it was just CBD, ladies and gentlemen. Just CBD.
Yeah, it was CBD. Gummies. Good for the
No,
joints.
it wasn't.
Well, so I'm probably not going to share this whole story on this episode, but fun fact for everyone in the world, but especially Austinites, during the 10 years of the project, me and the owner of the property got a special call from, I believe, the FBI, actually. but basically, Hope Outdoor Gallery was the #1 spot in the history of Austin, Texas for people getting busted for possession of marijuana.
What? That's not even fair.
No. It legitimately was not cool at all when we sat down and they plopped this folder down, and like me and Vic like immediately look at each other and just start laughing.
Because you were high?
Yeah. Because I was high. No.
I was going to laugh at the FBI book because I was. All right, continue.
But yeah, we're like, this isn't fair at all. It's not like you go out to, Willie Nelson's picnic, or like if you just want to go and just park somewhere and just start.
It's like a speed trap, but with weed.
Exactly,
A weed trap.
Exactly. So.
I
anyway.
don't think. What speed were they going? I bet it's slower than normal,
Real slow.
Your Honor. How could the FBI have that much time to have a book on that? I've watched plenty of movies, and they're normally chasing, bank robbing surfers.
Cartels. I don't know, something more dangerous. These are people, that graffiti artists, street artists that just want to spray paint. Of course they're going to have some weed. Calm yourself.
That's crazy.
Medicinal,
Well.
not judicial.
Because they're just like, shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
They weren't even moving. They're just standing there like, what's going on?
Well, it's
I
like
was trying
pulling
to
people over
paint.
coming down from off of 6th Street
Oh,
all night.
yeah.
That's shooting fish in a barrel right there.
That really is. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Well, so on that note, Mr. Thurman Jackson Jr.,
What's up?
I definitely would love to hear some cool pandemic DJ stories, and we're definitely gonna have to get into this whole dope ass hope or hat line that you launched during COVID.
Yeah. Pandemic stories. Let's see. I was trapped in my house for a long time, DJing, hanging out with my kids. Fought off boredom with reaching out to friends. I hung out with you some.
A lot. We hung out a lot.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, so I don't know if anyone else used this term, but we had a Q crew.
Q. Crew.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Well, I love that, when everything shut down, we had a group of friends that we all knew we could kind of rely on each other and have each other's houses to go to, and, kind of our like Bermuda Triangle of creative, which then I felt like ended up, having some late night DJ stuff. Like,
Maybe, yeah.
well, and then I think as we all saw, a lot of audio artists, including DJs, started doing a lot of this online stuff. Right?
Going
right?
live on Facebook.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yeah. So,
On Twitch.
oh my God, share with us some of the crazy stories. I remember coming over to your house.
Okay, we're talking about the. So we did a Twitch live, and it was like 2 countries. I think it was Spain, it was France, Canada, and somewhere else. And it was just a list of DJs going down the line. And then whenever they came to us in Texas, I had a gathering at my house, and you came over. And that party was pretty rowdy because it was just like everybody felt like we're not supposed to be around each other. We're not supposed to hang around. But everybody was just sick of being, contained and like alone. So like, yeah, I lost a rug
Yeah.
at that party. I loved that rug. It brought the room together.
I was kind of responsible for that. Not. I brought someone that was not an experienced
Drinker.
experienced
Well,
anything.
He put his drink on a sub.
On a speaker.
On a sub.
He put
A big sub.
Glass of red wine on a big sub.
I saw it in slow motion, Chris. I was DJing and I saw it in slow motion.
It's shaking
It
like
was just
Jurassic
it was
Park.
going across the sub.
Like that
and I looked
moment.
over to mix my record and it just...
And on a white rug.
Oh.
A white rug.
Red wine.
He
on a
offered to
white
buy me that rug again, and I said no, and I regret saying no.
I know.
I miss that rug.
That rug misses you.
It brought the room together.
That rug now doesn't say Thurman, that says Merlot. And that's how Merlot can you go. And that was pretty low. Put a drink on a sub that's shaking already. That's the biggest no-no you can do.
Dude.
Yeah, so that party was dope. You showed up. It was a bunch of really cool people. And yeah. So after that, we started doing a lot more Twitches and YouTube, stuff like that. And that's when I started messing around with the idea of the hat stuff, building a hat brand. Because, like, just a lot of people that I knew were, like, just drowning in, like, straight negativity. And I feel like everybody went through, like, a collective trauma together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that was part of me making the hats. And on top of that, I'd designed a hat for Hope Outdoor Gallery. And that was the first hat I ever did ever. And I was just like, damn, I was like, I can do this. And so I just started making hats for me and my friends, and we would go out and people were like, where did you get that from? And finally I was like, I need to make more, you know what I mean? And it just kind of turned into my happy place because it doesn't feel like work. It's fun to sit and create and do some shit that you love, you know what I mean? That's fun.
Definitely. I mean, and, so everyone else knows what the mantra of Thurman's line, I mean, the phrase is work hard, be nice. And it's bigger than a badass styled ass hat. It's more of when you see other people who have wearing that or who are practicing that mantra, it's like you're starting a conversation with somebody, you're learning about different walks of life. It's bigger than the item.
Yeah, it's also, it's weird because, like, the hats mean a bunch of different stuff to a bunch of people because, like, I'm in the custom car community. I work on cars. I own a custom car. And whenever we have our car shows here in Austin, like, all of the vendors come down from California and they have their hats and we buy them out. Like, the first day, it's like a 3-day festival. Second day, there's no more merch. And I go to all of those car shows in LA and the Bay Area and Sacramento. And I see a bunch of Texas dudes there in their custom cars wearing the stuff that they got from California. Mm-hmm. And one day I was like, how come they don't ever buy our shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then I was like, wait, we don't have any shit for them to buy. You know what I mean? And that was another part of it too. So it's like working class welders, metal fabricators, restaurant workers, just like blue collar ass people who work real hard, like they have like gravitated toward the brand.
For sure.
So it's cool though, because you know what I mean. It means literally a granny walked up to me in HEB the other day, and she was like, "Honey, where did you get that hat from? I need one for my grandson." I was like, I got some in my trunk. She was like, "You sell them out of the trunk? Is this a legit company?" I was like, yes,
she's like,
ma'am, we're
she's like,
legit."
my grandson need to learn to work hard and he needs to be nice. He's actually a little shit. No, I'm just kidding. He's not. I love him too.
But I love how it literally fell off the truck.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of times when we think of creatives and artists that there's so many realms of being creative and how to utilize different mediums. And I love, first off, I love the car that you have created, and I'd love for you to share what the model is and all that.
Thank you.
But even more so, it's like all these creatives that utilize a lot of things that are difficult to work with, metal and all these fabrications. Like that whole car community are crazy artists, let alone painting on top of them and all these other styles. So it's just cool when you say blue collar, it's not necessarily, they're just using their knowledge and strength in a medium that's pretty challenging.
Well, and so I have a few fun stories of getting to ride around with Thurman in the Pearl, but you gotta have some like crazy car story.
Is that the
I
name?
mean,
the Pearl?
That's okay.
Tell us about the Pearl.
Yeah.
Pearl.
She gave it that name, and she told me like a year later, she's like, "Isn't that what it's called?" I was like, "No, you called it that."
Which
and
yeah.
it kind of stuck, So
Which I forget. That's actually how Thurman and I met. We met at a car show, which I was there walking around with my newborn not my newborn. I think she's about 2 then. Avery.
She was your two-born.
cutest kids ever.
Yeah.
Cutest kids ever.
Yeah. Which Funkle Chris here is her goddad.
Funkle.
Yeah.
How
But
did I
anyway,
get that name?
so we're at Austin Speed Shop.
Austin Speed Shop car
Yeah.
show.
And walking around, my little bobblehead baby panda walks with me, and I see this like ridiculously, insanely awesome, gorgeous white pearl. That's what it was. Just this car. I was like, oh my god, what is this? So I'm busy drooling on this dude's car, and my kid's walking around, and then Thurman sees my kid.
I saw her daughter walking up to my car and like looking in it, and I was like, "Oh my god, look how cute this kid is." I had a couple of beers, but I.
So you're saying the kid would have been ugly if the beers didn't help?
No. I adore kids. I got kids, and it was just cute to see this little kid staring into my car, and I'm like beeline up to this kid and like walking to Andy, and she's talking to Big Daddy. Is that his nickname?
It was Bob Daddy O'Wade.
Bob Daddy
and,
O'Wade.
Austin legend.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
cool guy.
Rest in peace.
That's right. Rest in peace. And in fact, we were there talking because Vic Ayad had commissioned him to make a hog out of hog parts
Giant
for the
sculpture.
hog. Yeah, he just finished this dope ass sculpture. Turned out so nice. So basically, Vic, who owned the property and the castle, he does so many kind of custom bikes that there was all these leftover parts all the time. So it was more of like a idea to recycle some parts and do something cool with Bob Daddio, who is like the sculptor and I mean super super famous and so fun, that man. So basically, we're standing there talking, and he's like, "Andy, I need it. We gotta get this sculpture to Hops for Hope. We had the annual art show coming up," and I'm like, I'm not trying to mess with that. Like what?
It was big, dude. Like big and heavy. It's scrap steel.
Yeah. No, like this
Chrome.
Yeah, this man's looking at me and he's like, "Well, we need 4 people to move it." I'm like, I'm not.
It was 5 people.
Yeah.
It was 5 people.
And then insert Thurman Jackson, and we're
At
just
that car show.
Yeah, literally, we're just there talking, and I'm like, "So what all do you do?" And what did you say?
I said I build some cars. I do moving and delivery. I own a moving and delivery company. And you and his face both they're both like
I'm sorry, what?
they lit up. They're like, "Can you move this sculpture for us?" And I looked at it and I was like, "Damn, yeah."
Thurman's been pretty awesome house DJ for a long time, and that whole community has been in Austin in all these different venues. And some venues have closed, some venues have re-evolved, but that community is growing stronger daily. And I'm over at Native Hostel, kind of help booking a lot of different music. And Thurman and I chatted months ago about starting a monthly residency, and he's bringing in living legends in the classic house community, and it's just another platform for us to celebrate and be a part of, and see a lot of people happy now that we can dance again a little bit more and share.
Yeah, we're literally bringing in so I'm in a DJ collective, Motive Artistry, shout out to y'all. And we like sit and we talk and we literally figure out who is our next guest going to be. And it's always like, out of all 5 or might be 6 of us, our favorite DJ. We just literally pull the money together and just fly him here and, do a party at Native.
Yeah. No, it's been so great. Well, so Kimie, during COVID or any other time when you're making artwork, did you ever get invited to any crazy DJ backwoods party?
I more so was like, friends would reach out and they'd be like, I'm gonna do a live stream, so check it out. So I always tuned in with that. But more so during the pandemic, I kind of went back to the tunnel. Like when the park had closed, I ended up painting in places I guess you shouldn't, but acquired a tunnel and just went ham in there. Just always find a bridge or just a place to paint because I just couldn't not paint anymore. Like,
allegedly.
Oh yeah, I wasn't there. I was not there.
Just don't specifically tell where the tunnel is.
You will never find it.
Although we all know where it is.
No, but what else was going on? Like, I mean, while you're painting, were other people meeting up, music going on, all this other?
Yeah, friends would have like small gatherings, but I think there was a point where we were just kind of like, I miss you. And then we were kind of like, as long as we're careful about it, I really don't see the problem in us just getting together and having drinks and essentially just doing what we did before.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to it on what's healthy and therapeutic too, while we're going through all of this. A lot of people needed that, and that's what got them through loneliness or being isolated and all of that. It was so many of us are driven by being able to create and be able to share that and feed off of that. So I'm all for it.
One of my buddies and I just went to Enchanted Rock, and we were microdosing a little bit and just kind of trying to get out of the city to breathe a little. And we're walking around and we heard like a shh. And we thought we were just hearing things, and we like almost walked over a rattlesnake. And I was like, am I just tripping? Like, really tripping? Is that real? He was like, bro, it's real. You need to move. And I'm like, oh, crap. Like, this was not what I expected. So I was like, there was a part of me that was like, no, man, we had some mushrooms. Like, maybe we just, like, made that up. And he's like, no, bitch. Move. That's a fucking rattlesnake. And I'm just like, oh, shit. So
Was
I'm
it
like,
Tony? Who are you with?
No, it was not Tony. I kind of wish he would have been there, though. That would have been awesome.
Okay, so that reminds me. Do you remember during COVID when all those pop-up DJ parties were happening in Zilker Park? Because you said the Rock. Did you go to any of those?
No, I wish I would have.
We did a couple of them.
Right?
Yeah, we did a couple of them.
Yeah, I went to see you at a few.
Yeah. Dude, we just got sick of just being in the house. Like, our favorite wing spot wasn't open. We couldn't really go drink anywhere. So...
Don't do it, Chris.
Yeah.
I was going to wing it, but...
Yeah, I knew he was. So we just bought all the stuff. We threw parties out at the Rock. We threw parties all over the place.
Yeah.
In Austin. Just pop-up parties.
Yeah.
It was good times. It was pretty crazy.
How many people showed up and how'd it go?
Man, each one of them would have it from 30 to 50 people.
Okay.
And then when we would do them out at the Rock at Zilker, just all of the people who would be in the park would just gather. And at the end of the night, it's like a couple hundred people who were playing volleyball and soccer, just kind of mill over and hang out.
6 feet apart, though. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, always.
Well, but that's like, to me, you know, Hope Outdoor Gallery as a project and Pandemic are just great examples of how the creative class, we just get creative. Like, breathing, art and music, that is how we live. And so the different ideas or choices that we make, to create whatever, we feel inspired to create was what was always going on at the park. And then I felt during COVID, we're actually getting to see even more of this, like, creative stuff.
It's the new renaissance.
Yeah. Well, and then, so since you brought up, like, microdosing, well, I mean,
You brought it up.
She brought it up.
you were
Just
growing.
a little bit.
You were growing. No,
Yeah.
you were growing? No. Well, I feel that this show is, meant for talking about that too. Like, that secret sauce that, in the entrepreneurial world, people want to know how you came up with this or came up with that. And I find it super special and so fascinating to hear the different things that relax or, bring up creativity for different friends, So I know, Kimie, when I had you over to Native a few months ago, and you brought some of your sketchbooks, and I was like, come on, like, how many mushrooms were you on?
Oh my god. No, when I think about that, I think about the time when we all stayed at Flophouse, and it was just a bunch of creatives together. And I mean, Matt, who's also like a really good artist here in town and friend of ours, he was like just doing his little DJ set, just jamming in the living room. And we were all just kind of working on our art together, vibing. And I like those moments because it's like we didn't necessarily get to have that in the beginning of the pandemic, but then we like just made it happen because we need to vibe off each other. We need to inspire each other.
Yep.
And that's the best way to do it. Like, someone's playing some music, you're feeling it, you're working, you're drawing. Somebody else will start drawing, and it's like just like this domino effect. Like, you get into it, and I think that's really important with, the creative process.
I agree. Yeah,
I see Thurman smiling at me because he knows.
He knows y'all be tripping.
Well, everything.
Yeah, I'm about to lose some sponsors. No, I'm joking. Yeah. Some crazy shit happened during the pandemic, like visions.
You lost your rug, and someone.
Man, you had to talk about that rug again. Damn.
I brought the room together.
Damn, I missed that rug.
He's just like.
It really did bring the room together. On some Big Lebowski
Future episodes
shit.
are going to be sponsored by like a rug company. Shout out
Rug
Thurman
doctor.
Jackson.
They're just gonna
Jackson movie.
send you rugs in the mail as gifts. Like, I'm sorry that happened to you, man.
Wine
Make
fell
a
off
shirt
your
that says, "I
subwoofer?
fucks with
We can
rugs."
solve it.
There is a big rug cleaning company in Austin. I think I know that because I think I looked it up after that.
Really? Is there Jackson in their name? Jackson Rug Cleaner or something?
No, but anything can happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I fucks with rugs. So,
Yeah.
Never
you know
drinks
what I mean?
wine again.
Yeah.
It
have
wasn't
to-
my wine.
You're like, it wasn't mine.
You know what's funny about that wine though is I bought that wine.
That's true. That's true. In fact,
I asked you guys what y'all wanted to drink before y'all came over, and I went to the wine store and I was like, man, I need some South African-ish from this region right here.
Oh, did you?
Oh, I really did, dude.
no, that's a true story.
That happened.
I no joke. Remember, I'm with this guy and we're walking around the San Antonio Zoo, and my phone rings, and I mean it's pandemic, so I'm like, if Thurman's calling me, it's an emergency. Like, oh shit! Like, I better stop feeding this giraffe right now. And
First
no
world
joke.
problems right
Those-
there.
Right, those are real thing. And answer this phone. And I'm like, Thurman, is everything okay? What's going on? Why are you calling me? Because we only text message. You
How
know,
dare you call?
right? We're grown people.
He
We
called.
don't call. And you know, no joke. I literally, and he's like, Andy, I just want to know, what do you want to drink tonight at my DJ party? And I'm like,
Dude, I
Dun,
take
dun,
care of
dun.
my guests. You know what I mean?
Said South African Merlot.
No.
The reddest.
Was
the
it
reddest
South? No,
you
I
could
don't think
find.
it was South. It was from some weird region that I don't really hang out at. So I had to acquire at the wine store, and it was like it had its own little
Shout out to the
section.
wine
The
store.
wine store.
Yeah.
no. So actually, this is pretty on point. I think. I mean, from producing shows for years and years, there's definitely one thing that in my art show world is all clear liquor. All clear
All
liquor.
clear.
That's a little.
You only serve white wine, vodka, tequila.
Back in the day, it was
there's no
Everclear.
brown, there's no purple.
Damn. I didn't.
So I know for sure. I
But you
didn't-
guys ordered the red.
No, that's not true. Oh, actually, it is.
Got to switch to
It
that
is.
Pinot
It- because-
Gris.
So you
It-
had something to do with me losing my rug.
Because it was for that dude though.
You just shouldn't have had your supper for shaking so much.
He will remain nameless.
Yeah,
on this, he
totally,
should remain
totally.
nameless on the show.
Yeah. Well, since Kimie brought up Flophouse, so that is also a great partner we have with the park, and it's been super, super awesome. We've done a few artist retreats out to the Shipping Container Hotel, and so Thurman and I had our Q crew.
Q.
That
party was crazy.
dude.
At Flophouse.
Yeah.
I
So
love that place.
okay, so this was the first. So again, it's pandemic. It says April. Yeah, it's April. So it's just like shut down. It just happened, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of my best dear friends, it was her 40th birthday, and she was feeling a little bummed. Like, you know, she kind of had wanted planned something, you know, and then I'd just gone out to meet this guy Matt in Round Top and see this Shipping Container Hotel for some stuff we want to do at the park. Anyway, I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, well, you know, well, you got 6 units. What if me and a bunch of friends came? Could we buy out the place like on a Tuesday, or you know, because he was losing money, everybody's losing money, you know. So he's like, really? Yeah, you know. So it's like just this exciting. Yeah, let's help each other out. You know, it'd be great. So then, but basically,
We
What-
turned up.
yeah, no.
We turned up.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like during these creative adventures, these untold stories that happen when, you know, you just get a bunch of artists together. They're like, well, what do we want to do? You know, what do we want to make? What do we want to create? So yeah,
That sunset.
16
that
of us went
night
out
we
there.
stayed there. That sunset was crazy.
And Matt, just as a person, he's incredible. Like when
He's
we went
dope.
out there as artists, he was all like, "Oh, y'all are painting, y'all are working. Let me call my massage therapist friend, and she will give you all massages."
Oh, that's a
and,
new thing he does.
You
Yeah.
know,
Really?
Shout out to
Dude,
Matt at the Flophouse.
it came in clutch because at
Yeah.
first I was like, I don't know, and then I went and got one, and I was like, "Thank you."
I mean, it's a
Everybody was just like a lot happier after, just like relaxed.
It's a huge recharge. I mean, for the amount of hours that you all are out in the elements, you know, doing these large-scale murals, you don't always have lifts, and if you do, you're still climbing ladders, still moving, and like to have that physical therapy, it's like the best gift you can give, and then you're almost recharged to do a whole other day or 2 days, whatever.
Oh yeah. And that was all on him. Like he was just like, hey, like I just wanted to do this for y'all. And on top of that, I barbecued, so here's all this food. Like he's a great dude.
That dude is so cool.
Yeah.
Like whenever I was there, he said, "Do you want to walk through the giant building that is on the property right there?"
the ballroom.
Yeah. So yeah, we
Amazing.
walked through the ballroom, and like me and him clicked up immediately because he had like old Range Rovers and stuff like taxidermy giraffes and like just crazy vintage shit popping off in there.
Yeah.
Dude, he has a piece of Duke University in that ballroom. Like it's just
Really?
like an arch. And I had asked him about it. He was like, "Oh, we just took that from Duke University. I just I don't know why I just bought it and I just felt like I needed it. I was so like,
There's like living history in there when it comes to the types of large scale artifacts from all over the world. Like imagine a gargoyle from a building in New York or Philly from like the 1920s. That how did it survive a deconstruction? How did it get its way to Round Top, Texas, and how did it find its way for you to be right next to it after you had a massage
cool
and you
stuff
did a
in that
mural?
building.
And
Oh, yeah.
all this
There's
stuff.
cool stuff.
Just
and
crazy.
it's like sitting right next to an original Andy Warhol print, and you're just like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, and then you're like, what's in this breakfast taco next to the Andy Warhol? And
Yeah.
like, just living normal life too.
I'm gonna hit him up.
Shout out,
I'm ready
shout
to
out
go.
to
Yeah,
Flophouse.
Yeah, I'm
To
ready to go to the
Flophouse.
Round
Flophouse.
Top, Texas.
Just talking about it, like
It's an experience.
that
y'all.
time we went there, like it was special, dude. I had so much fun. I had so much built up angst going on, and like we went out there and we just like played music and just hung out in the sun, and just the group of people that was there was just like literally some of the most interesting people in the world. You know what I mean? Nobody there was like uninteresting. You know,
Right.
it was really cool.
And you're DJing, right? You're DJing Deep House and other
I think
great,
I DJ'd. Did I
if you
DJ?
remember. But
You-
right next door to Flophouse, like these, just to share with everyone, these are really, really beautifully designed shipping containers turned into hotel stayover. It's like not glamping, but this whole vibe where you have your own space, showers, bunk beds, all that. But then you're outside most of the time next to a farm that's got all these cows and such.
The farmhouse, though.
The farm.
God, that's where we met. Everybody met at the farmhouse. Like that house was over the top dope.
Yeah.
I walked in there. I didn't know what to expect at all. We opened the door and I was like, damn, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Go
Were
to
you-
the flop house, y'all.
And you were DJing till wee hours till sunrise. What did the cows do? Did they move to your music or what happened?
That might have happened, but
Just let me
after
do
it
it.
got
Just
dark,
let me say
I
it.
don't remember a whole lot after it got dark.
Right.
I know I had fun.
He's
I
like,
hung out with some cool
after
people.
3, I just forgot about everything.
Well,
I remember getting in the hot tub and wondering why I was in the hot tub because it was super hot outside. And that night I was like, I'm getting in the hot tub, and I was like, man, I'm kind of
Because it also is a pool.
if you cut the bubbles off.
Yeah, if you cut the bubbles off, it's just a pool.
But it was a hot tub that day.
Too hot in the hot tub. Burn yourself.
James Brown
I love that we've.
Eddie Murphy. Both.
doing James Brown.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the last time we were there, Scully, we microdosed a bit. This dude, he just shows up late, and he's like, hey, guys, what's up? Y'all want some mushrooms? Yes.
This dude.
This
To be
dude right,
named nameless.
right over
Yeah,
here.
whatever. You know, just micro. It's a smidge. It's a
Just
little.
a smidgen.
I remember when that happened.
It's called a friend maker, and
I
it
was
worked quite
asking
well.
for Chris somewhere.
Yeah.
They're like, he's at the flop house. I was like, man, I know they're having fun out there.
Yeah. No, it's a magical place. If anyone can get there, you guys should check it out. Flophouse, Round Top, Texas.
Yeah, well, but whether it's Flophouse or the tunnels, or it's so cool to know the ways that we can count on each other as a creative community. Like I didn't ask Thurman to bring his turntables or Gordon to bring his lights. I just knew they would.
I wanted to play in front of somebody. It's been forever. you know?
Right. And even though it was just 16 people, our friend, it was her 40th birthday. She then felt very special. Remember, Matt has this bathtub out on the porch, and so she
Oh,
saw that.
man.
So she went. She's like, I want to take a bubble bath. So we brought a bubble machine. We put her in a bathtub.
She came out nude and
That's
got
right,
in that bathtub on the front porch.
She did.
All the way.
All the way. With no shame. Was like, it's my 40th birthday, and we're like, we're going to throw some lights and some bubble machine on you. And then some music, and, that bringing creativity and, happiness and positive energy is, what we do, right? So that, to me, was what we saw all the time at the park. Like, I would go out there and, see someone filming themselves tap dancing.
Oh, yeah.
You
All the
know?
music videos, all the times I've been in random music videos on YouTube, like, I can't even.
Right? No, I was telling Chris, like, we can just Google search on YouTube and, like, start telling me, hey, you want to come be on this show?
Damn.
Yeah. This has been a lot of
Maybe
lot of
you
people.
should do that. That would be kind of crazy.
I mean, we'll probably, as more folks find out, they can reach out to us and, see what happens. But that's the point. There's so many examples of that place and everyone finding their own way there and having their own experience there, whether they're creating on it or they're capturing near it or they're falling in love there. There's so much. That's what's great. That's what the point is.
Yeah, for sure. But again, whether it's there or at Flophouse or on the tunnel or, like creatives, we just make, right? And there's so many moments that people don't really know what happened.
No, there's a lot of
What-
history there. I'm surprised there's not like a movie about it or something, because there should be a movie about all of us artists, kind of like when we started up until like when we found our place in the community.
Well, that's kind of what this show's for. I mean, we were looking at different ways of, and when we did the book, that's kind of
Both books.
Or both books, yeah. The first one and the second one. That's when we're like, man, there's so many stories.
The Hops for Hope parties.
Oh, I love those parties.
I know.
Dude, I have the best picture of me and my son. Like, it's still my favorite picture of me and him both wearing overalls.
I think I
I'm
took
like
that picture.
holding him like you took that
I
picture.
did.
He looks like a little dummy in my hand right here, like
It's cute as
like I'm a
shit.
ventriloquist or
You're just
some
like-
shit.
You can't
Yeah.
even.
Who,
Yeah.
who,
Yeah.
who was the big dummy? All right, sorry.
He got it from me.
Shouting out to Red Fox.
Literally.
But that
That's
picture
what
is
Like I
crazy.
want to bring it up.
No, I gotta see it. That's beautiful.
No,
I didn't
but-
know they made overalls that small.
I
So
know.
cute.
Yeah. Oshkosh. Shout out Oshkosh.
Oshkosh.
Yeah.
I like the little kid
You
socks.
aren't a
They're just so tiny.
Dude, I'm. Yeah, you don't have kids.
I
right?
don't.
Apparently,
I
you
don't
are
have
not a
kids.
parent.
I do not have kids.
Man, my pamper game is so strong. I can put a pamper on a kid so fast, like it's
One-handed.
yeah, timed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just hold them, air dry them.
Yeah,
Just like bam with one, and then over here at the other.
it's the little things.
No, that's true.
No, but Hope is like a really great organization, because I've just met like a bunch of artists that I've known about that I just never thought I'd ever like come across just in passing. I mean, Andy, you like introduced me to Shepherd Ferry, and at first I was just kind of like, oh, cool, I'm gonna meet one of Andy's friends. Here comes Shepherd Ferry. I've read about this guy like in books, like in college, and here he is. He's like, hey, hello. I'm like, oh, what? Like, okay, cool. Nice to meet you. I'm weird as shit. And he's also like a nerd too, so that was very comforting.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I remember that. That was when the Line Hotel and Downtown Lions, all these great groups got together and they commissioned Shepherd Ferry and Sandra Chavez to do the largest mural in downtown Austin history on the side of the hotel. But then Hope was a part of doing all these great murals in the parking garage and
The parties,
yeah,
just the gatherings.
Yeah, and Shepherd is a partner of mine. Him and his wife I started Hope with them 2006. So we've just known each other so long. And anyway, that was a very cool weekend because it was the only thing that happened right before South by was shut down.
Dude, it was crazy.
Damn.
It was the
Yeah.
only event. Like, we were all getting ready to plan for South by, and then we got that like news where it was like, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it was like 2 days later. So we're like, there at the line doing our stuff, and it goes off that it's like booming. Like it was a huge artist party in the garage and P6, and then Shepherd did some great talks for Del Valley high school kids, and I moderated
then that
that.
dinner.
Yeah, and we had this great.
The great dinner.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, Shepherd, like I feel all creative friends, he was excited to be inspired too, right? Like we all just love having those moments to be able to hang with like our creative community. because that's when the fun happens. That's when,
Oh, most definitely.
yeah, like
Even like when you guys brought for a Hops for Hope Mears 1 from New York.
Shout
He's
out Mears
also
One, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's
5 points.
been great for a long time. So it was cool to meet that dude. And then he's like, "Oh, your work is tight." I'm like, "Thank you, thank you."
because it is. Oh my
That
God.
feels good though.
Yeah.
It feels good when somebody that you respect.
Yeah, it's just like a mutual respect. Like he knows what it's like to paint a wall, and especially like when you know you're like just spray paint, because it is hard to learn. So when you got it, it's like a mutual respect. Like I understand what it took to get there. You know.
Damn right. Yeah, that's cool.
Which Chris is actually wearing.
The shirt.
Well, that was from the very last recreate.
The last recreate at the Hog. Yep.
Yep.
We called it Peace Out. Quite clever, and basically sparking the finale there, and then the future move to bigger and bigger things.
Yeah, for the new park. But this icon on the shirt, this is Tippy the tipster.
Tippy.
Yeah, yeah, he's our little mascot.
No, and ever since the park, since it's been in transition, I've had a ton of people ask me like, when is it gonna open? Where is it? Like, there's been a higher demand for it, and a lot of like people want to know, and I think that's really cool that when it is ready, like people are just gonna flock to that place because they need it. Like they didn't know that they needed it, and now that it's not there, they're like, I need it and I want it. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great for it's inspiring for so many people, so many ages. Like there's so many stories of parents and their kids, and we can't wait for more in the future.
Kimie, how
Wait.
old are you?
How old do I look?
You look
Marvelous.
23.
Thank you. I'm 29.
That's
Well,
right.
damn.
Here we go.
I
I'm
mean,
glad you went younger. Thank you.
You do look young.
Thurman's 135. So
I'm 175.
Andy's like, Thurman is a dinosaur. Just throwing it out there.
he just looks hot, but he's actually.
I'm old in mover years.
He's a vampire.
Like each year is like dog years. I mean, if you own a moving company or if you move before, your body is jacked.
No, I think it's really cool how you have all these different like things that you do. I think it's cool. I didn't know that you built cars. How long have you been like in the car community?
I
Fill
don't
his
know.
guns.
As long as I can remember. You know what I mean? Like my grandfather messed with like old Lincolns, and my father messed with Cadillacs. And I grew up in Oakland, California, in the Bay Area.
Oh, I love the Bay. I painted down in the Bay. A great
Really?
spot.
So I grew up in Sabrini Park, Oakland, California. Like my neighborhood was like an all black neighborhood, and it bordered an all Mexican neighborhood. And the park by our house had traditional custom cars and hot rods and lowriders. And Too Short used to sell tapes at that park. Like when I was, for real, when I was a little kid, he sold tapes out of his trunk in that park. What? And I moved from the Bay Area to here, and there's no black car builders here. It's kind of weird.
Well, now there is.
Yeah.
Well, there has been.
You
yeah,
make that happen.
And
he's a unicorn dinosaur.
I don't want to brag.
Unicorn
Yeah.
dinosaur.
I don't want to brag about Thurman, but like his car is
Dude, he's won so many car
yeah,
shows
when
that they
so
don't
many
even
ones that
they won't
stands
even
out,
let him enter some
like,
anymore.
And I don't know how. I don't know
The
how.
Pearl is like,
I'm so excited to see this car.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. Like on how low to the ground it is. Like I get scared of little speed bumps in my ride, and I don't know how you do
No,
it. But
it's got adjustable
you knew you'd
suspension on
tell
it.
me, you know.
It goes all the way up to ride height. But whenever I park it, I lay it down because the silhouette of the car looks sexier whenever the whole car's just laying on the ground.
man,
It comes up to
Car
about
talk.
right
The
here.
devil's in the
Yeah.
details.
dude,
Yeah.
That's how you know.
this is how
Yeah.
car people
and
flirt
his
with
car
each other.
is smoking.
The silhouettes.
They come walking out. He's like, "Do you see
What
how
kind of
low my-"
exhaust you got, girl?
Oh no, for real. Okay, so Father's Day during COVID, I'm at the W, meeting up with some friends. We're at the pool, and it's Father's Day. So I'm like, Thurman, what are you doing for Father's Day? Better be-
Nothing. I had literally had nothing to do.
Yeah.
Nothing at
and,
all.
And we'd been talking about the Pearl, and I was like, you should. He's like, I think I might take. I'm like, you should take it out for a ride. In fact, you should bring it here.
Yes.
Yo, Dude, I think that was one of my favorite memories of COVID. It was standing out front of the W and watching people lose their mind when the Pearl drove in. Like, literally, it's like they've got all these fancy cars, whatever kind of, but
They had
not
Lamborghinis and all that stuff out front.
but not this. And then it was like jaws drop. People stop walking. Like, he just pulls in, and I'm like, that's my ride.
You're like, that's
with
my
that
She
guy.
was sitting at the bar whenever I pulled up. And I was like, what up?
And just literally like the ballet guys, like, no joke, there are people across the street with their dog. The dog stopped.
That day was dope.
It was.
We went out late. Didn't we go out to another bar with
We did.
one of the guy who lived in the building?
Yeah.
And his girl or something like that.
Yeah, I know. We got some funny videos, but we went out to a bar and like parked right out front. Like, I'm like, don't play, park right out front.
We're here. Let
fun.
them know. Let them know about
It
the
was
Pearl.
fun.
Oh, it was so But that's like the fun of it,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like your art, so show it off.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
I drive it a lot
you
now.
got to. I mean, if it were mine, I'd be home wiping it with a diaper.
My
Not-
other
not
car
letting
blew
it
A
out.
diaper?
Well,
My other car blew up like
Pamper.
a week ago, and I was just like, I've been looking to get another car, to buy another car or whatever, and so I've been driving the Pearl like for almost 2 weeks now straight.
You have?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, we're going out.
wait,
my
is it out
insurance
front right
company
now?
is
Kimie, you're
not cool
coming.
with that.
Can,
at
I
all.
want to come.
You're
Can I?
coming.
Can I?
Yeah.
use the
Yeah.
Pearl?
Yeah,
Seriously, it's
I
like the
did-
best game in town.
Shotgun.
I,
Anyone?
it's fun.
I'm excited.
Well, hey,
We'll go out.
I don't know why I was just thinking of this. Like, we haven't even brought up, Kimie, that you are also an incredible tattoo artist.
Oh yeah.
Like
I
a
tattoo.
bomb ass tattoo artist. And Thurman's got a bunch of good pieces on. Do you see how big his arms are? They're like as big.
They're like as big
They're
as
bigger
mine.
than your legs.
They're like
They're bigger than your legs.
they are bigger than
I've
mine.
got arms too.
No. No. Okay, he does. But
No, I don't.
nobody has
Their
arms like
limbs.
Thurman. That's another jaw dropping moment I've seen. Like him
I-
just sitting at a bar and someone just like another dude. Like
It's so funny
basically
when dudes
flirting
How
with
like,
much
him.
do I owe y'all for this? Like this, I feel like
No.
I owe y'all. some
Sponsored
money
by
now.
Jackson Moving.
Strong Arm Moving.
But I do tattoo. I work at Studio Inc. My boss and coworker Mark Strong used to be a bodybuilder, so it's funny to see when people like other dudes that are stacked are like, "Oh wow, like how did you do that? What's your
It's a
workout
lot of real
regimen?"
estate too.
Yeah.
I do moves.
Yeah, if you ever
I
need
have this new
tattoos.
move thing going on. You can come work with us tomorrow, and I'll put you in that program. We just do 3 moves a day,
And that's how you stay fit.
and you can
So
eat
this next-
whatever you want to eat.
This next exercise is called sectional healing. So we're gonna just lift these out and then do a
He's
couple
just-
reps.
He's just gonna call Andy and be like, "Do you have another sculpture you would like to move?"
I get some
Man.
boys in shape.
I miss that guy.
Yes, you will.
Oh yeah.
I miss him.
But no, yeah, Kimie. I mean, what's the craziest tattoo piece that you did during COVID? Like, did you notice were people like coming up with were they wanting to do crazier things or interested in crazier things or?
For the first 2 weeks of the shutdown, everybody was just freaking out, and then they kind of like got over it. I will say, like a month into it, they were kind of like, eh. And to a degree, I was kind of that way too, because I was like, well, I'm not really scared of this anymore. I'm also like, I'm doing what I have to do precaution wise. But then I just kept tattooing. Like, it was crazy because, like, my coworker was like, just finish your appointments and then we'll see what happens. And then people just kept hitting me up. Like, they were, no, and I understood it was because they couldn't, like, go and do other things. So they're like, I'm going to go get a huge tattoo now just because I have the time and I can. And that's just essentially what happened.
So what was like the biggest, craziest piece that someone just walked in and was like, you know what, the world's gonna end, do my whole back?
I did start my friend's back. She was just like, send it, and we did. We sent it, but that wasn't the craziest. I think the craziest tattoo I've ever done was when I first started tattooing, and this girl, bless her heart, she asked me to do patterns on her nipples, and that skin is very hard to tattoo. She handled it a lot better than I did. I think I was sweating and freaking out, and she was trying to make me feel better because I was like, oh my God. oh my God. And she's like, you're doing great, hun. And I thought she was like this crazy, like, stripper dancer lady that was like, who would get their nipples tattooed like that? And she's like, oh no, dude, I'm like going to school. I'm going to UT for psychology. And I was just like, I've seen it all, dude. I did not expect her to come in here like that.
What did she get on her nipples?
He's like,
It couldn't be that big, right? I mean,
not,
I might know her.
They were mandala
I might.
patterns. They're like mandala patterns. So they were
mandala patterns.
Yeah, like a mandala is like...
it's kind of like this.
Like, yeah, just like that.
Oh,
But she got it around the whole thing. And the tricky part about that, it's like when the skin is firm and soft, you can easily blow out a line. So that's the scary part. Like, you have to hold it taut, but then you also see, he's like
Well, yeah. I
we
mean,
went from car talk
you
to
can't-
tattoo talk.
to tattooing nipples.
you obviously need precision and shaky hand, and it can't be too hot in there because then you'll sweat. So it needs to be a tad bit nipply in the room.
I knew
See,
that was
I know.
about to happen. I knew that was
He's
about to happen.
sending it with the jokes.
It's like, how do I set
I knew
this
that
up?
was about to happen.
Yeah.
But that definitely was crazy because I was not prepared. She was more prepared, but I did it and it came out good. And shout out to her for just being bad and helping me talk me through doing it because I was
Right.
nervous as hell.
Well, I think that's also a good example of like the interaction you're having with your client. It's not one-sided. It's an ongoing shared experience, and both folks are helping each other throughout that.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it could be, like I would imagine it one-sided when obviously
I love
it's not.
getting to know my clients. It's always interesting though when I tattoo like guys and it's their first time and they show up with their mom and their mom's looking at me like I had something to do with it, and I'm just like, your son like messaged me, he emailed me, like,
Wait, what?
yeah,
What?
it's so
People still bring their mother to
with their
tattoo
parents?
shops?
people
Damn.
will show up to the tattoo shop with their moms. It's kind of cute though because I mean they're trying to like get that like approval, but I'm like, you could have just came by yourself.
What?
I'm not.
Damn.
I can't
How old
even-
are these guys we're talking
Well,
about?
you have to be like 18 to get tattooed.
Oh,
Like,
so
I
they
will,
are
I will
18.
not tattoo anybody like underage. That's just it's
yeah.
illegal.
No.
I got a question
okay,
for
so
you.
it's not like
It's
it's not
18 to
like
party, 21 to ink.
they're. Oh my god.
What do you like to tattoo? That's because some people like to do portraits, some people like to do.
I love
Line work
portraits,
stuff.
but I love black and gray tattoos. Like any type of black and gray. It's just so
Dude.
timeless.
Kimmie's work is amazing. Your work is amazing.
I want to get a tattoo
Thank you. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
for real. I
Let's
want
do
to
it.
get one.
Yeah, well, and you know, she does kind of have a club. I feel like there's a lot of people in the
No.
hope. It's like I got worked on by Kimie. I
Yeah.
got worked on by Kimie.
It's actually like a thing now where it's like I need to get a Kimie tattoo because I've tattooed like the majority of the artists here, and it all started with Matt. Ironically, Matt was
Did you do his roses? No.
I didn't do the roses, but I did one on his leg. It was like,
That's right. I've seen that. So
and
good.
I was so nervous because I hadn't done anything that big, and he was like, "Dude, just do it," and I'm like, "I'll do it, I'll do it." So I kind of need that little like push, and
Yeah.
I'm glad that my friends are just like, "You bad, just do it."
Yeah. Shout out
Yeah.
Matt Trujillo. Matt True.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt, for letting me tattoo your skin.
Yeah.
do it.
Well, but girl, seriously, like your paintings, your mural work, like I remember like seeing some of your big stuff for the first time in one of the Hops for Hope and just stopped. I stopped walking and was like, whoa. And I called Miles over. I'm like, did Kimie do this for the show? Like, anyway, amazing work.
Yeah, and then we had like dinner, and you were like, "Where did you come from?"
That's right. That's what. Well, because that's what I'm saying. That's what's so great about the creative community. Like, you meet someone else, and you know, you want to find out more. You want to grow. You want to do fun things together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put those walls up that all those murals went on at the Hops for Hope.
That's right.
Dude,
Every
the
year.
dude,
Every year.
We brought all that stuff into my moving company, dude.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
you guys are incredible because those were heavy.
I met some cool people doing that stuff. I met some really cool artists there
Well, which
putting those walls up.
for sure. And even that. So Chris and I both used to work in film, and so that's how we ended up getting those walls the first year. I called around to different film sets of friends that I knew, and I heard there was a big, and I was like, do you got some walls? They're like, you come get them right now. They're yours. I mean, that's the creative community. We're like, it's not even about scratching each other's back. It's like you actually feel good knowing that something will go to use in some other way, right? And then I, send them all passes to the art show. And
That's even like the Native. The Native is such a great place that just like really, like they support all different types of artists, visual artists, musicians,
That's
and
right.
they just want to have like energy there all the time, just something going on all the time. And I think it's a great place to just like when you're new in town, you show up there, there's always something going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's another example of being a hub of art and of creativity, and it's not one style of anything. It's not one style of art visually. It's not one style of art musically.
Well, and Chris and I, we're a part of launching that. I mean, we're still part of it, but really wanting to bring some of that same creative energy that we've always had in Hope, that Antonio and Michael and Will saw in that, which again are testimonies to more of the creative community. Just like, how do we keep, as I love when Antonio says this, how do we keep building the city that we want to live in?
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Well, man, we crushed it.
Yeah.
Did we?
Did we?
Is it?
Was that
we
a
got-
successful?
I mean, it's 12:06.
We're good. No, this is awesome.
That's it.
Well, we can't thank y'all enough for joining us, and we could talk for hours and hours, and there'll be more of this as we continue to build in Austin and throughout the world. So thank you guys for joining us on These Walls Can Talk. And where can we find out more info about y'all elsewhere?
Well, but we want to make sure we ask them what they want to put on.
Oh yeah. So what we'd like to do with all of our guests is this whole process and the symbolism behind. By the way,
Which-
shout out
That's Kimie's.
to Kimie Flores. This is a small art piece that she did when we were doing a few
The
pieces
can
on
show.
cans. The can show. Yeah, it didn't get canceled. We just did it.
Oh my
Yeah, just take it, folks. Just take it.
Just take it.
But this entire future park is being built brick by brick, and we thought it'd be a nice gesture to hear what you guys would want inscribed on your brick as a piece of
I
this community.
specifically looked up the info for this, and Pantera is my favorite band of all time, and I want my brick to say, Kimie Flores, your trust is in whiskey and weed and Black Sabbath. That's all I want.
Amazing.
Badass.
Amazing.
I want my brick to say that.
Okay, got it.
All right. I would want my brick to say, work hard, be nice, and do dope shit.
Oh, I love that too.
Like literally.
That's a big flex.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh man.
Well, yeah, we'll be sure and throw up everyone's Instagram and stuff like on the edit. But so good. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for having me.
Thank you, Chris.
These
This
walls
is
can
amazing,
talk.
y'all. Looking forward to more. And we'll see y'all in the next episode of These Walls Can Talk.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.
You have been listening to These Walls Can Talk, a Hope Outdoor Gallery podcast powered by Dropbox, DocSend, and Ibble.